The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as senior researcher displayed the holographic data for the assembled delegates. The blue-skinned scientist from the Empire adjusted his spectacles and cleared his throat nervously. He had studied thousands of species across the known universe. He had witnessed the rise and fall of countless civilizations, but nothing had prepared him for what he was about to present. "Distinguished members of the Council," began, his voice trembling slightly. "I have spent 40 standard years studying the species known as humans from the planet called Earth. What I have discovered defies every scientific principle we hold sacred." The delegates shifted in their seats. Some whispered among themselves. The humans had only recently achieved faster-than-light travel and joined the galactic community. They were considered young and primitive by most standards. What could possibly be so remarkable about them? Pressed a button on his console. A three-dimensional image of Earth appeared in the center of the chamber. The small blue and green planet rotated slowly, looking fragile and insignificant against the vastness of space. "This planet," continued, "has experienced no fewer than 27 extinction-level events in the past 4 billion years. Asteroid impacts, supervolcano eruptions, ice ages, massive solar flares, pandemic diseases, climate catastrophes. According to every model and calculation we have developed over millions of years of research, no intelligent species should have evolved on this world. And yet the humans not only evolved, but they thrived." Ambassador from the Crystalline Federation raised one of his translucent arms. "Perhaps your data is incorrect. Our own world experienced similar events, and our species survived through careful planning and underground shelters." Shook his head slowly. "With respect, Ambassador, your world experienced 3 extinction events over the course of your evolutionary history. Earth has experienced nearly 10 times that number. More importantly, the humans did not survive these events through planning or technology. They survived them before they had developed any civilization at all." The chamber erupted in confused murmurs. This was impossible. Every species in the Galactic Council had survived their home world's challenges through intelligence and careful preparation. The idea that a species could survive repeated extinction events through pure biological adaptation was unheard of. High Counselor, an ancient being from the eldest race in the galaxy, leaned forward with interest. Her silver eyes studied the rotating image of Earth with newfound curiosity. "Explain further, researcher. How did these humans accomplish what no other species has achieved?" Brought up a new display showing the human genome sequence. The complex patterns of genetic information twisted and spiraled in the holographic projection. "This is where our understanding of biology breaks down completely. The human genome contains something we have never seen before. We have examined over 40,000 sentient species across the galaxy. None of them possess what the humans call junk DNA in such quantities." "Junk DNA?" asked Ambassador Krill from the Hive Collective. "What purpose does useless genetic material serve?" "That is precisely the mystery," replied. "For decades, even human scientists dismissed this material as evolutionary waste, but our analysis has revealed something extraordinary. This supposed junk DNA is actually a vast library of dormant genetic adaptations. When the humans face a new existential threat, their bodies activate relevant sequences from this library. They literally evolve in real time to meet whatever challenge threatens their survival." The delegates stared at the genetic display in stunned silence. Such a thing was supposed to be impossible. Evolution required thousands of generations of gradual change. No species could simply switch on new adaptations like activating a machine. Counselor spoke again, her voice carrying a hint of unease. "You are suggesting that humans can adapt to any threat instantaneously." "Not instantaneously," clarified, "but remarkably fast by any standard we have observed. When a deadly plague swept across their planet 600 years ago, their immune systems developed resistance within just a few generations. When ice ages covered their world, They develop the ability to survive on almost no food for extended periods. When their sun's radiation increased temporarily, their skin developed the ability to repair damage at an accelerated rate. Paused and looked around the chamber. Every delegate was listening with complete attention now. Even the normally dismissive representatives from the elder races had stopped their side conversations. But the most remarkable example occurred approximately 65 million years ago. An asteroid struck their planet with enough force to block out their sun for years. This event destroyed 75% of all life on Earth, including the dominant species at that time. The ancestors of modern humans were small, insignificant creatures at that point. Every model we have suggests they should have died along with everything else. Yet they survived, Counselor said quietly. They did more than survive, replied. They emerged from that catastrophe and began the evolutionary journey that would eventually produce modern humans. Somehow, those small creatures found enough food in a world of perpetual darkness. They endured temperatures that dropped below freezing across most of the planet. They competed with other survivors for increasingly scarce resources. And they won. Ambassador rose from his seat. His crystalline form caught the chamber lights and scattered rainbow patterns across the walls. Researcher, I must ask the obvious question. Is this adaptive ability still active in modern humans? Are they continuing to evolve even now? Hesitated before answering. This was the part of his presentation he had dreaded most. Yes, Ambassador. Our observations indicate that human evolution has actually accelerated since they developed civilization. Their technology has not replaced their biological adaptability. Instead, it has enhanced it. They are changing faster now than at any point in their history. The chamber fell into an uncomfortable silence. The implications of this revelation were staggering. Every other species in the Galactic Council had reached an evolutionary plateau after developing technology. Their bodies had stopped changing because their machines solved their problems for them. But humans were different. They were still becoming something new. Delegate from the Serpent Dominion finally broke the silence. His forked tongue flickered nervously as he spoke. What does this mean for the galactic community? Should we be concerned about this species? Considered the question carefully before responding. I do not believe humans represent a deliberate threat to any of our civilizations. They seem genuinely unaware of how remarkable their survival abilities are. They consider themselves fragile and vulnerable. Their entire culture is built around fear of extinction, despite being statistically impossible to exterminate. How can they not know what they are? Ambassador Krill asked incredulously. Because they have always been this way, explained. To them, surviving catastrophes is simply normal. They have no frame of reference to understand how unusual their resilience is. They look at the challenges they have overcome and see only luck and determination. They do not recognize the biological miracle that makes their continued existence possible. Counselor stood slowly, commanding immediate attention from everyone in the chamber. Her ancient voice carried weight that silenced all other discussions. I have lived for 17,000 years. I have watched empires rise and fall across this galaxy. I have seen species that we thought were invincible vanish into extinction. And I have always believed that intelligence and technology were the ultimate tools for survival. She paused and gestured toward the image of Earth still floating in the center of the room. But these humans have shown us something different. They have survived not through careful planning or superior weapons, but through pure biological stubbornness. They refuse to die even when the universe itself seems determined to destroy them. The other delegates listened with rapt attention. Counselor rarely spoke at such length. When she did, every word carried significance. I propose that we do not view the humans as a threat, she continued. Instead, we should view them as a lesson. For all our technology and wisdom, we have become dependent on our machines and our controlled environments. If our shields failed or our climate systems broke down, most of our species would perish within a generation. But the humans would survive. They would adapt. They would continue. Ambassador nodded his crystalline head slowly. You are suggesting we have something to learn from this young species. I am suggesting that survival itself is their gift, Counselor replied. And in a universe full of unknown dangers and unpredictable catastrophes, that gift may be the most valuable thing any species can possess. Cleared his throat again. There is one more thing I should mention, Counselor. During my research, I had the opportunity to interview several human scientists about their species' history. When I explained what we had discovered about their adaptive abilities, do you know what they said? The delegates waited expectantly. They laughed, said. They told me that humans have a saying on their world. What does not kill us makes us stronger. They have known this truth about themselves all along. They simply never realized it was literally true at a genetic level. The council chamber remained silent for a long moment as the assembled delegates absorbed everything they had learned. Outside the great windows, stars burned in the endless darkness of space. Somewhere among those stars, a small blue planet continued its orbit around an ordinary yellow sun. And on that planet, a species that should have died 27 times over was going about its daily business, completely unaware of how impossible their existence truly was. The humans had survived ice ages and asteroid impacts. They had survived plagues and famines and wars of their own making. They had survived everything the universe had thrown at them for billions of years. And now they were reaching out to the stars, bringing their remarkable gift of survival to a galaxy that had never seen anything like them. Perhaps, the delegates thought, the humans were exactly what the galactic community needed. Not as warriors or conquerors, but as living proof that life itself refused to be extinguished. The universe might be cold and hostile and filled with countless ways to die. But the humans had proven that with enough stubborn determination and the right genetic quirks, even the weakest creatures could become utterly indestructible. As the council session ended and the delegates began to file out of the chamber, Counselor remained behind. She stared at the image of Earth for a long time, her ancient mind turning over possibilities that stretched far into the future. The humans would face new challenges in the galaxy. They would encounter threats that made their planetary catastrophes look minor, and found herself absolutely certain of one thing. The humans would survive. They always did. It was simply what they were built to do.